What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and I'm here to share you guys the blueprint of how I built a $700,000 a year Boba business. And I'm gonna show you guys the exact step-by-step on how we became profitable in 3 months. In this video, I'm gonna share with you guys how to fund the business, how to find the location, where to buy the equipment, and ultimately how to create the menu and hire staff. We built this business on a whim. A couple of buddies and I were drinking and we wanted to open a boba shop. But this video is not about that. If you want to hear the full story, make sure you watch this video right here. But this video is about how you can get started. So let's get right into it. Number one, the funding. Look, you either have money or you don't. And a lot of people have been in my comment section saying, well, I don't have money. Well, the truth is, guys, you got to go to work. You got to go to work and you got to save some money because there are no ways to getting around this. Opening a brick and mortar store costs hundreds of thousands of dollars if you're gonna go from ground up. And even at the bare minimum of what we did, it was still about $45,000 to get started. But here's a tip. You can start small. You don't need to open a brick and mortar store. If you wanna just dip your feet and try to get into the boba space, there are ways like getting into off the grid or maybe going into a farmer's market. Start making the drink, start bottling it up, and the tips that I'm gonna share with you in this video, you can still apply to that. There are two ways to open a boba shop, and the funding for them are gonna be a little bit different. You can either go the franchise route with popular brands like Sharetea, Gongcha, T4, any of those. With those businesses, you can get an SBA loan. However, it's not that simple. With an SBA loan, you do need to have money. You need to have good credit. You gotta have credibility. You gotta show them that you run a store before. Not to mention, if you go with one of these big franchises, here's what it's gonna take. On average, they will charge you $25,000 to $50,000 one-time fee. And then they would wanna see a net worth of at least $250,000, and I've seen some brands up to $1 million net worth. So if you don't have money, this route will not be for you, and you gotta go back to either finding a good partner that has that money, or you gotta go work and save up. The other option is you can do what I did, create your own brand. When you do this, it's gonna require a little bit more work, and the reason why is because you don't have the recipe, you don't have the logo, you don't have the overall look, you don't have the systems and processes that these other franchises will have and will share with you. If you go this route, you have two options as well. You can either find a boba shop that is for sale and you can take over. Typically they're selling anywhere from, I've seen as low as $50,000 all the way up to $300,000, $400,000. The biggest difference is it's gonna depend on how much money they're bringing in already. The other option, ground up. You can go, you can find the location, you can build it out, you can put the 3 compartment sink in, you can get the health inspector in. This will cost you on average $250,000 all the way up to $750,000 depending on the kind of build out you're doing. But for me, this is how it went down. I didn't want to spend that kind of money because I've done it in the past. I've built out stores and I said this takes too much time and too much capital. Instead, we found a location that was a chocolate shop that was failing. It already had everything built out. The health inspector already passed it, so I didn't have to jump through hoops and bounds to try to get it permitted to sell boba. All I did was I took over and I refurbished the space. I bought the right equipment to make boba and we put it in, we spruced it up a little bit, and ultimately we only spent $35,000. Now you're probably watching, well, you said 45 earlier. The other $10,000, and I'll talk a little bit more about this, is to have a little bit of breathing room and also hiring staff and making sure that they're paid for 1 to 2 weeks before you actually open. You want to have them go through dry run. You want to make sure that they're ready because when that store opens, you can't mess up anymore. They got to be good to go. Number 2 is a perfect transition because now that you've determined which route you want to go, do you want to buy an existing business or do you want to create your own? The next thing I want to talk about is the location. Here are some things I look for when I open a store. First off, I don't want the cheapest location. Oftentimes, the cheapest location means low foot traffic, and ultimately, you're not gonna get a lot of customers. As a brick and mortar store, you rely heavily on the walking traffic. People coming by, they get thirsty, they buy a drink. Is it next to a school? Is it next to a park? You want an attraction that is bigger than your store, because then all those people, if you can only capture 10%, it's still gonna bring in a lot of revenue. You can't rely on DoorDash. You can't rely on, all of a sudden saying, oh, I'm very popular, I can drive traffic. Trust me, guys. There's a lot of boba shops, a lot of other stores they can go to. You want to be conveniently located, somewhere where there's a lot of people. Building off what I said earlier, when you're looking for that location, guys, you want to find a space that is already ready to go. If you have to go take an office building and turn it into a boba shop, you're going to jump through so many hurdles with the city and trying to get the permits that you're going to lose so much money in the process. I don't advise it. When it comes to the location and you're going to be taking over an existing spot or an existing business, you want to look for things like a 3-compartment sink, grease trap already built in. You're looking at drainage, mop stations. So if it already has these things, trust me, guys, you're going to be saving at least $80,000 to $100,000 just right there. Number 3, finding the equipment. So here's what I did, guys. Originally, we were going to go with the franchise route. We ended up scrapping the idea because they wanted to push us out way too long. Like, to even get an interview with them was 6 months out. We already signed the lease, so I wasn't going to wait 6 months and pay the rent for 6 months not making any money. So that wasn't an option. But here's what you can do. You can reach out to them, and they have packets. You can ask them for the equipment list. You can ask them for what they use to make boba. And also, guys, you can just go into the store and look and see what they're using. See the tea kettles. Are they brewing it with a machine brewer like Share Tea, or are they hand brewing it, right? You're gonna figure out your style, but ultimately, you can learn a lot if you just go to the store, stand to the side, snap a picture of the equipment, and go home and start Googling. For me, we bought all our equipment mainly from 2 sources. Number 1 was Webstaurant.com. Webstaurant.com is an e-commerce for commercial grade equipment, and you can find the hot water tower, the tea brewers, a lot of the ice machines. You can find literally everything on that website and have it shipped directly to you. The other place we went to was the local boba supplier. Now, I'm here in the Bay Area, and we're very fortunate to have 2 major suppliers right around us. There, I bought the sealer, I bought the lid machine, and I bought the syrup dispenser. They also carry a lot of the supplies we needed to make the actual boba drink. Pro tip, you can schedule a time to sit down with them and they will demonstrate how to make the boba. But I'm gonna transition this to the next segment, which is how we came up with the menu. Number 3, creating the menu. Look, not my first rodeo. I got people from Share Tea, I got people from T4, from Happy Lemon, from all these boba shops. Young kids, I go in there, I say, hey, I'm opening a boba shop. Do you want to make $20 an hour? Come to my store, send me a list of what you need, and start making drinks. Literally, they all came. I had 5 or 6 kids in my store. I said, make whatever you want to make, and we'll try it out. Simple as that. They made probably 30 to 40 drinks that day, and I was boba'd out. Like, me, my friends, and we brought our wives and our girlfriends, and we were just drinking, and seeing what we liked. Because ultimately, guys, it's our brand, and I want to sell stuff that I like to drink. And that's how we came up with the menu. And like I said earlier, a lot of these big boba suppliers, they have showrooms. So if you want to try out their stuff, you set a time with them, they'll come in and they'll make all the drinks and they'll say, this is how we make our taro. This is how we make our strawberry drink. It's all laid out for you. And then if you like it, you buy the ingredients directly from them. Simple as that. Step number 5, finding labor. This was very difficult, especially during the time when we opened, because this was during COVID, when the government was just giving everybody EDD and nobody wanted to work. But here's some things I did. First thing I did, I posted on social media because I want people that I know to refer good talent to us. And I got a good amount of candidates from that. Second thing we did, we put a help wanted sign. The next thing we did was we put a help wanted sign right on the window. Now this is good because the people that see it are oftentimes local. They're in the area already, and that's very good for a boba shop because if you need help very quickly, if they live nearby, you can call them, they come in. Third thing we did was we put an ad out on Indeed. Indeed works wonders. That's actually how we still find a lot of our great talent today. And the final thing we did, other boba shops are gonna hate me, But I go to Boba Shop and I look for that hardworking individual and I say, hey, do you want to work at this new Boba Shop? I'll pay you a little bit more. Hate me, guys, but that's what people do. And that's how you find the staff. Final step, guys. Opening the store. So once you have all that, you got the menu, you got the staff, the next thing I like to do is I like to take 2 weeks and I pay my staff and I want them to come in and I want them to do a dry run. I want them to run through all the equipment, run through how to make all the drinks, pretend to make orders, and I start saying, okay, make 50 orders, right? It's wasteful. I get it. But here's the thing. When they're under pressure, they learn, but it's better to mess up there than to mess up with real customers, because you only have one shot to make an impression. You only have one shot to avoid that 1-star review on Yelp. So spend the time and spend the money to let your staff go through the motion, make the drinks, and get good and get that quality control like this. We market the crap out of the business. We got a huge demand, a very successful grand opening, and then the rest is history. Now, I hope this provided a lot of value for you guys. Comment down below if you have any more specific questions so that I can make a video to help you guys out. And if you got some value out of this video, hit the subscribe button, give me a like, share this with some friends. Peace out.